Let's go to two more quality SEC quarterbacks who dueled it out to the very end. Gunner Stockton, Joey Aguilar, overtime, 44-41. Georgia comes out on top somehow, some way. I don't believe Georgia fans fully believe that they won this game, all things considered, with how it ended, but I assure you they did. I've seen confirmations. Georgia did 38 different things that usually ends up submarining huge games on the road in the SEC, and yet it worked out for Georgia because they stuck with it. Gunnar Stockton made plays. The receivers made plays. The running backs made plays. The defense obviously made a plenty of plays. Also gave up some big ones to Tennessee through the air, notably two enormous ones to Chris Brazzell, sort of 50-50 jump balls down the field for touchdowns. But Georgia just sort of stayed around and hung around and
Yep.
started poorly, seemed to end poorly, and then figured out a way to get it done in the end. What a wild, wild game.
This was an insane football game.
Yeah.
It was such a good game. And I talk about 6,000 chat messages being sent in our Discord. A lot of those came during this one because this game was just crazy. So to your point, Tennessee ripped through Georgia on 8 plays and scored a touchdown on the opening drive. They scored on their next 2 drives. They scored touchdowns in their first 3 drives. They were up 21-7 in the first quarter. Herbie, I thought, put it best on the broadcast when he said at the moment, anyway, it wasn't trickery. They were just beating them. They're just outright beating them. They were better. They had a better game plan. They seemed composed. They seemed like they were doing well. Joey Aguilar started 14-14 for 213 and 2 touchdowns.
Damn,
at this point, we're watching this game. I here alone in my studio, you, I'm assuming in yours, typing with people online, and it feels like this is the kind of game that could get out of hand. But then Georgia does the thing that Georgia has done really well under the Kirby Smart regime, and that is they grew into the game.
Yep.
They made adjustments. They didn't panic. And despite all the success on the Tennessee side, it didn't really take them out of their own game. You never really got a sense of desperation here. And so as these things go, Georgia came screaming back. They came screaming back, Dan. It ended up being, as you said, an incredible back and forth overtime thriller. For the life of me, I cannot get over the throw that Gunnar Stockton decided to make.
Oh, 4th down?
On 4th and 6, 2 minutes, 32 seconds left in this football game. It is all on the line. Just an absolute dime down the right sideline to London Humphreys for a 28-yard touchdown.
Over the shoulder, by the way.
Over the shoulder. Dan, the stones you need to try and make a throw like that in a situation like that. I posted this online. I won't even try that in a damn video game.
Right.
So kudos to him,
life.
man.
I mean, your labrums are at an all-time level.
My labrums are shredded.
Yeah.
But I can still throw in the video game, and I still ain't making that throw.
It was unbelievable.
So kudos to him. And again, kudos to Georgia for finding a way to ease back into this thing, getting some stops. Again, this is a high-scoring affair. This is not a shutdown defensive effort on either side of this. But on the Georgia side, just finding a way to get it done. Finding a way to get this one in the win column, I think, is a huge feather in Kirby Smart's cap. And look, it goes both ways. Like, there were impressive elements of what Tennessee did as well. Certainly the way they started. I thought their defensive line was really good for a good chunk of this game. They were getting pressure on Gunnar Stockton, but ultimately it's Georgia, maybe with their experience both on the field and in the coach's box. What else can you say about this one? It's a heartbreaker if you're a Tennessee fan.
No, I think, look, Tennessee looked terrific. There were mistakes on both sides of the ball for the Vols and obviously mistakes on both sides of the ball for Georgia. I think one of the interesting things was Georgia going down like they did, 21-7, in the manner in which they did, with Tennessee going over the top, with Tennessee just going right at them. It became clear that you were going to need to score more points than usual if you're Georgia to beat Tennessee. And so there had to have been some sort of inward Bobo look, which don't Google that, by the way.
No.
Where Georgia said, if we're going to win this game, we need to explore the depths of this playbook and ask Gunnar Stockton to take shots, right? To play fearlessly. We're going to need plays from these receivers. Zachariah Branch had a great touchdown catch and run. sort of a screen out wide that he was
By the
able
way,
to navigate. Yeah,
was there a memo that went around that we missed? We're on the broadcast. They're calling him Zach Branch and not Zachariah.
I did hear that. I refuse. I think Zachariah
I
Branch is
like
a great name.
Zachariah. It
Yeah.
sounds more stately. Continue.
No, that was it. That, it forced Georgia out of its early season offensive malaise, thinking it could just get it done playing safely, and it was clearly not the case against Tennessee. And I always feel bad for the college kickers, and man, oh man, I think it was ABC, right? Was who actually broadcast this game, but the ESPN ABC crew,
Correct.
they had like rows and rows of screens in the production trailer of sad fans
Yeah.
ready to roll. Sad fan A, stand by, take sad fan A. Sad fan B, stand by, take sad fan B. Like they were all over Neyland Stadium with the sad Vol fan shots in a way that almost feels like they have too much money for too many cameras to capture that much sadness in or it's not 4K. It's up converted 1080p. Let's be clear.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to cut the reverbs a little bit early because Shay's out of town. And so I didn't capture all of the messages that came in, I'm sure, talking about Notre Dame, Texas A&M. I didn't capture many of them, to be honest with you. But I got a bunch of Georgia, Tennessee messages that are going to be at the end of the segment this week. So if you are a Tennessee fan, I apologize in advance. I'm not making all these calls. It's just what comes in. We did get one talking about Max Gilbert, the kicker for Tennessee, and how he looked, at least to one observer, before going out there on the field. This gentleman was confident that there was going to be a miss just looking at his face.
Yeah.
Look, I can't speak to that. He kicked 2 other field goals in this game. He made 5 extra points. So it was just
including a field goal in overtime, a clutch
including
one.
a field goal in overtime. So it wasn't just a terrible effort. It was just a terrible moment.
Yep.
And Tennessee had this game. I think if you're a Vols fan, the one bit of solace that you take away from this is the fact that you were good enough to win this game. You're absolutely good enough.
You don't take solace in that.
I know you don't. There are no maybes. And I'm in the same boat, by the way.
Yeah.
Notre Dame being 0-2.
It makes it hurt even more.
It does, but I think I would rather that than just getting completely annihilated and feeling like you got to hit the reset button from week to week.
No, I think there's stuff in between that, but yeah, I mean, that's emotional disembowelment at the end of that game.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was absolutely tough. 44-41 was your final